Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I have a series of videos where I'm catching up on the Georgia governor's race. I did a video about what I'm looking for in a candidate and just talking through my ideas and things like that. In this particular video, I'm going to actually talk about the candidates and where they stand on issues. I'm also going to include a clip of how I did some research on some of the popular topics that are out today. In order to be an informed voter, you have to make sure that you're constantly researching, paying attention, and understanding the topics that are on the table. So I always go and do further research if I don't understand anything, and that's just me showing this part. When it came to immigration, I always thought that there needed to be a better way forward for people to become citizens, and I'm not a fan of open borders. One of the places I like to go when I want to learn about where a candidate or anybody stands on issues, I go here to ontheissues.org because they seem to compile everything so you can see what's going on. So let's start with the person that's already in the seat. So that's Brian Kemp. He's currently the governor. He's Republican. And so these are his thoughts on abortion here. He signed the fetal heartbeat bill. That was May 2019, and he supports the heartbeat bill and tough abortion laws. So, more diverse economy, his ideas on civil rights. He allowed rejecting gay customers on religious grounds, November 2018. Let's see, he's against bigotry, but monuments are history. That doesn't shock me at all. Okay, so he cut government regulations to help small business owners. I like people that like to help small business owners. I think that's very important. Let's see, what else does he do? Oh, crime. This is a good one because my thoughts on crime is that I don't want a New York and California situation in Georgia. I remember when he did this, he launched an anti-gang task force to keep neighborhoods safe. He addresses the growing threat of gang activity, which he does. He gives non-violent offenders a second chance at life. Collaborate with cities and sheriff's departments. I like that he gives non-violent offenders a second chance at life. That's important. So he opposes the recreational use of marijuana, but he signed the HOPE Act that allows for the medicinal one. And of course, deport drug cartel kingpins. Education is a very big topic for me. I have 2 children in school. So he asked the Georgia Board of Education to denounce critical race theory. I am against critical race theory. I feel like people want to say, oh, it's just teaching your history. It's nothing to it. But it's really bigger than that. It's about the theory of trying to relate racism to all the systems we have today. And I just feel like that's not beneficial for children. I feel like knowing your history is key, and parents can teach that history. And I would love to see Black American history be a part of history, not like some separate entity. Like I want everybody to know that this history is a part of our history. It happened, and this is how we're going to grow from it. I think that's the only way that we can do things, honestly. But that's just my opinion about it. I'm not against like teaching Black history in schools, but teaching the theory about systematic racism, all those things, I just think that it's just, I don't know. I just don't believe in teaching that to students. That's just my personal opinion. $2,000 pay raise for all public school teachers. That's a good thing. Vetoed Keeping Georgia Schools Safe Act. Let's see what else he did. The Keeping Teacher Pay Competitive. Supports vouchers to attend private school. Let's see. So this is just other things that he believed in. I'm just going to keep going. Okay, we're going to go on government reform. That's another good one. So he removed 107,000 voters via the use it or lose it law, overturned local election by arresting black winners. I still don't know what that is. That's June 2020. 1.5 million voters removed from the voting rolls. 53,000 voter registrations put on hold. A lot of his is about voting right. So, like, he has, like, the stricter voter ID laws against the threat of illegal voters. He's trying to protect the elections from fraud with voter ID. So that just seems like what that's all about. Now, gun control, constitutional carry without permit. Respect the Second Amendment. If you remember, guys, remember that video Kemp did where he had the gun and, like, with the little boy. Yeah, that was crazy. So he's pretty much a pro-gun rights person. Okay, healthcare. I already know a little bit about this healthcare because I'm here. It says supported, limited, and instead of full expansion of Medicaid. Don't expand the broken Medicaid system. Require people to work to receive Medicaid. Okay, immigration is another good one. Challenge voter status of newly sworn in citizen. And DACA round up criminal illegals. Georgia interest over immigrants. Crack down on illegal immigration. No immigrant driver license so they can't vote fraudulently. Check immigration status after minor offenses. Okay. I mean, that's just kind of like the typical things. Okay, so that was Kemp on the issues. That's him. That's who we just looked at. We're going to move on to the next person. Boom, let's go. We're going to go to the Democrat candidate, Stacey Abrams. We're getting ready to see where she stands on issues. All right, for abortion, pro-choice. Not a shocker. All right, so she talks a lot about the family wealth and the black family wealth gap. This is civil rights. A lot of her things are about voter suppression. As you know, she had the Fair Fight, the grassroots organization, to make sure that everybody had access to voting and all of those good things. So a lot of that is about that. What else? And LGBTQ, looks like some stuff is on there about that group as well. Again, not a shocker. Let's see. Republican tax bill rigged the system against working class. So hers on crime. She voted for a no for a 10-year minimum for assaulting a cop. Voted yes on criminalizing upskirting. Well, that's a good thing. On drugs, she's for medical marijuana, open to legalizing recreational use. All right, she wants to expand the list of conditions for medical marijuana, add fentanyl to list of criminalized opiates. Okay. This is education. Lower income neighborhoods have lower ranked schools. Of course, we got to do something about that. Voted no on tax credits for private schools. Okay, so there's just more things here. We must help our most vulnerable citizens. Speaking of, she wants to do vaccine mandates for healthcare workers and people that work with the elderly. I just read that like earlier. Let's see. What else does she have? Learning begins at birth. That's another one of her things. This is hers on trade. Then we got government reform. Ensure everyone trusts the system and worthy of that. I don't think that's ever going to happen. All right, now we're moving on to gun control. AR-15s are not necessary on our street. She voted no on campus carry. This is on health care. She's for expanding Medicaid. Protect the progress of Obamacare instead of lawsuits. Medicaid expansion for reduced costs and pre-existing conditions. I'll explore universal coverage. That's a good point. And these are some of her other things that she believes in with the immigration, 21st century immigration plan, not walls nor open borders. Advocates a Clean Dream Act for a living wage and the right to form unions. These are some of her principles here. Most help our most vulnerable citizens, which I agree with. Okay, so this is Stacey Abrams, basically. This is what she believes in. Help working poor get a leg up. I can agree with that one. But how do we do it? No mandatory drug tests for food stamps recipient. I can get behind that. All right, so the only thing I can agree with her on is probably universal health care and not drug testing food stamp recipients. But I would love to see how she plans on addressing the issues instead of just talking about them, because I feel like a lot of people like to talk about the issues with no solution. Would love to see her solutions. Next, we're going to talk about Vernon Jones. He's a Republican running for governor. So let's see what he stands on issues. He opposed the anti-abortion heartbeat bill, and abortion should always be legal. He thought that in 2008. Lead the way to protect home ownership. So he just made a comment, I guess, about wanting a darker administration as the county CEO. That's on civil rights issues. Cannot stand for the defunding of the police. Approved 10-year minimum for assaulting a cop. Supports the federal death penalty. Mandatory jail sentences for selling illegal drugs. School choice, he believes in that. Opposed the Keeping Georgia Schools Safe Act. Vouchers for any public school. He voted yes on criminalizing upskirting. So what I like about what he said so far is the school vouchers. So these are some of his other thoughts. He supports the NRA, received a campaign donation. Gun carry license should apply to campus carry, allow individuals to carry concealed carry, okay? Supported limited instead of full expansion of Medicaid. Crack down on illegal immigration. Opportunity for all rather than increase the minimum wage. I'd like to know more about that. So this is just more about him. Reform and improve Social Security as we know it today. I would like to see how. Supports federal block grants and local welfare control. Now we're on to David Perdue and seeing where he stands on issues. So he is Republican and challenging Kemp. A lot of his things surprised me, so I can't wait to go through this. So this is his ideas about abortion. Human life begins at conception. Back to ban on most abortions after 6 weeks. So he is pro-life. This is the budget and economy. He has a lot of things on here. Endorsed by the Georgia Chamber of Commerce. He's for the Paycheck Protection Program, cut wasteful spending, eliminate failed government agencies, support balanced budget amendment and tax reform. Okay, so this is civil rights. Supreme Court overstepped in legalizing same-sex marriage. Alrighty then. Avoids voter suppression questions. Government shouldn't redefine marriage. You know what that means. Upholds Georgia's constitutional ban on same-sex marriage. Oh, he's not going to go well with the LGBTQ community. He wants to protect traditional marriage. Respect faith-based opposition to same-sex marriage. Okay, so we know where he stands on that. He said only about 10 senators have any real business experience. Well, tell them then. Okay, this is crime. Need police reform, but vast majority of cops are honorable. Okay, I can appreciate that. Supports expanding rights of crime victims. Supported First Step Act with restrictions. Opposed Sentencing Reform Act. Death penalty for killing police officers. Wow, he went from 10 to the minimum 10 to death penalty. Supports medical marijuana, not recreational use. Okay, educate supports school choice, including private school. Pro-local education, anti-transgender bathroom. So these are just some of the other things that he supports. Oh, I like that he said he's an advocate for congressional term limits. And he tells what kind of limits he wants. Jumping to gun control, ample gun laws on the books supports background checks. I do too. Repeal finding poor because they can't afford Obamacare. I'm with you on that. Want to crack down on fraud in Medicare. Okay. Now we're going to talk about immigration. Citizenship for DACA tied to cutting immigration. Protect the borders, prevent illegal entry. So he's pro-border wall, pro-border security. He opposes the increase in the federal minimum wage, thinks that it kills jobs. So some other stuff. The most fascinating part about him is he used to be the CEO of Dollar General and Reebok. The cousin of Governor Sonny Perdue. This is his thoughts on tax reform. I want to do a video where I research the candidates further and figure out where their stance of issues were. I didn't want to make it this long, but it is what it is. Hope you found this video useful. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more content.